May the Force be with you. Today we're going to look at a case that involves Star Wars, particularly The Empire Strikes Back and some copyright infringement claims, and ultimately a rule of evidence known as the best evidence rule in federal court. The case that we're looking at is Sylar versus Lucasfilms. It was decided on August 26, 1986. The judgment was actually modified in 1987. The court that handled the appeal was the Ninth Circuit. The case involves copyright infringement and the best evidence rule when trying to bring that copyright infringement claim. The parties are Lee Sylar, the plaintiff, and Lucasfilms, the defendant. So here are the facts. In 1976 and in 1977, Mr. Sylar created what's called the Garthian Strythers, and Mr. Sylar would show these depictions. He would take them around to science fiction and comic book conventions during that time frame. Well, in 1980, the Empire Strikes Back movie was released, and in that movie there were Imperial Walkers. Now these two, the Garthian Striders and the Imperial Walkers, were similar. They both walked on 2 feet. Most of us know Imperial Walkers as the four-leggeds, but there are two-leggeds. The four-legged Imperial Walkers are the AT-AT, and then the two-leggeds are the AT-ST. And the one at issue in this case was the AT/ST, which was the two-legged, which resembled the Garthian Strider. So in 1981, Mr. Sylar decided to get a copyright on his Garthian Striders, but he got the copyright through reconstruction, meaning he remade what the originals look like. So Mr. Sylar then decided to bring a case against Lucasfilms because he had previously reached out to Lucasfilms and said, hey, I want to be compensated. You took my idea. Well, Lucasfilms reached back to him and said, there's nothing to talk about. So this made Mr. Sylar sue Lucasfilms. And at trial, Mr. Sylar wanted to show the jury, in opening statements actually, the reconstructed images of his Garthian Strider. The court then decided that they needed an evidentiary hearing before Mr. Sylar could present these reconstructions to the jury. Now the hearing was held over 7 days, and what they found was Mr. Sylar actually destroyed the originals in bad faith, or possibly destroyed them in bad faith. He gave false testimony, and he may have been holding back the originals. Now why are the originals so important? Well, the dates can tell you that. You know, Mr. Sylar is saying in 1976 and in 77 he created these Striders, when in 1980 the Imperial Walkers were released, but in 1981 he got the copyright. So the best evidence rule, the federal rule, is number 1004 section 1, and that rule basically requires the individual to produce the original. If they can't produce the original, then they have to show that they didn't destroy it in bad faith, and then they can use substitutions or secondary evidence. But if there's any kind of bad faith there, then all secondary evidence is inadmissible. Ultimately, the trial court decided that Mr. Sylar cannot use this evidence at trial, so therefore they ruled in favor of Lucasfilms, granting them summary judgment because Mr. Sylar had no evidence to prove that Lucasfilms actually committed any kind of copyright infringement. So Mr. Sylar, like most individuals who aren't happy with a verdict, decided to appeal, and he appealed up to the Ninth Circuit. The Ninth Circuit then looked at the case, and they were trying to decide whether the lower court, the trial court, properly excluded Mr. Sylar's reconstructions and granted summary judgment for Lucasfilms. And the Ninth Circuit reached the conclusion that the trial court did everything right because Mr. Sylar could not show that the originals were not lost or destroyed in bad faith. The reasoning behind all of this is the danger of fraud that the court doesn't want to happen, basically. If you're able to reconstruct and then claim copyright infringement, but you can't produce the originals, there's a chance that you are committing some kind of fraud. The Ninth Circuit also looked at one of Mr. Seiler, the plaintiff's arguments, which was that the Copyright Act Section 410C applied, therefore he doesn't have to follow the best evidence rule of 1004(1). The court disagreed with this and stated that it doesn't apply because it has no bearing on the ultimate facts that Seiler must prove, and that Seiler's claims for copyright infringement are all based on those original drawings that he had, the ones he published in 1977. The court also stated that he had to show that the reconstructions that he was offering were identical to the originals, and without the originals there's no way to show that, because Seiler can't prove that the reconstructions are the same as the originals. So ultimately, Seiler lost. Seiler didn't get any money. He didn't get any injunction against the use of the Imperial Walker AT-ST. Even though they do look very similar, there's no way of truly knowing that Mr. Seiler didn't just recreate the Garthian Striders to look like the Imperial Walkers. Thanks for watching.